Hello and welcome from G&H Equipment here in North Haven, Connecticut. My name is Gerard. I am the sales manager here at G&H Equipment, and today I want to go over our latest and greatest, newest series from John Deere, our 5085E.
Top flying trees, dropping rains falling on.
This tractor is basically an agricultural tractor. We sell a lot of these to farmers, towns, parks departments, municipalities, wide variety of customers. Today I want to go over this tractor, which is 85 horsepower, 70 horsepower at the PTO shaft in the back of the tractor, which is going to be running most of your implements that are PTO operated. We sell a lot of these tractors to the towns for mowing, so we're going to have rear 3-point hitch mowers, rear snow blowers. Also has a category 2 3-point hitch on the back, which we're going to go over. And on that 3-point hitch, I'm going to talk about weight, what it can carry, what it can handle. The engine is a 4-cylinder John Deere PowerTech engine. It is 276 cubic inch. It is turbocharged. Turbocharged meaning it has a turbo on it, which is going to give it extra boost, which is going to boost the horsepower for those heavy, long duration implements out in the field. The John Deere engine, the PowerTech, is a wet sleeved engine. Wet sleeved meaning once the engine over a period of time has some wear to it, the engine can be rebuilt in frame. Our sleeves pop out of the engine, new sleeves go in, and you're a fresh rebuild. A lot of the competition, you have to remove the whole engine block, send it out to a machine shop, have it bored, a lot of extra labor. So with the PowerTech engine, you're going to pay a little bit more up front, but in the long run it is going to pay off. I want to talk about ease of service for this engine. If we look over here, our main basically our main issues that we've been seeing is fuel. A lot of our fuel today is dirty. A lot of our fuel is ultra low sulfur. So when we talk about fuel, we have two primary filters. We have a filter and a water separator with a glass jar on the bottom, and that glass jar is visible and you can see when there is water in there. There is a drain on the bottom of that filter that operator needs to be aware of and look at, and he can drain any excess water out of that water separator. Our next filter I want to go over is our fuel filter. It is a 6-micron fuel filter. That's going to filter our fuel to give precise metering for our injection system on the tractor. A lot of these fuel systems now are very, very high pressure. They can't withstand dirty fuel, so that's why Deere uses the 2-filter system. Our 30-gallon fuel tank is located on the left side, right near the operator step, and it has a nice large mouth for fueling. Easy, it's low, so if you are using cans or nozzle, easy to get to. A lot of the competition, the fill is in the back, it's up high, and you're holding heavy cans up high. It is a liquid-cooled engine. It has a large radiator, and I believe our radiator capacity is roughly 3 gallons. So we have 3-gallon antifreeze protectant, which is going to be protectant from heat, which antifreeze is going to run at a lower temperature. Also antifreeze in the cold, it's going to keep from freezing. This tractor is a 4-wheel drive tractor. And when I say 4-wheel drive, our front axle is mechanical, so it's a mechanical 4-wheel drive. And as we see, a good solid axle. We have grease fittings on our U-joints and also on our upper and lower ball joints. Also, I want to point out on this axle for steering, John Deere utilizes a steering system which is behind the front axle. Competition a lot of times has the steering cylinder in front of the axle, which if you're off-road, meaning in the weeds, in the brush, small trees, if we're running a rotary cutter, it is protected by the front axle. We don't have sticks and debris hitting that axle. If you notice, this tractor is outfitted with the R4 industrial tires. The R4 industrial tires, a lot of our municipalities like because they are a heavier ply tire, which is going to withstand, if they're highway mowing or out in the fields, it's a heavier ply, you're not going to get as many flat tires. John Deere uses a planetary in their front axle. Okay, some of the competition does not. A planetary is a shaft coming through the center with one big gear, and it equally disperses the power of 3 gears inside here. A little bit more in maintenance because you do have to check your oil in those planetaries, but you're getting more power to the ground, less wear and tear on ball bearings in that front axle. Your rear R4 tire is a 19.5 by 24, and it is an adjustable width. So we have our series of bolts, and we're going to be able to adjust our back tire in and out, whether we're setting it up for a field plow, setting it up for a wide stance if we're highway mowing on side slopes. Also, the 19.5 tire gives a nice wide stance. Yes, it is a little bit shorter tire. Again, for highway mowing in the fields, it's going to let the tractor set a little bit lower, which gives a lower ground clearance. It's going to be more stable. The standard feature on our 3-point hitch is what they call a telescopic draft link. Telescopic draft link, we slide our lever over, we pull our ball out, and it's up and down, in and out. We're not jumping back in and out of the tractor trying to line a heavy implement up. Makes it very, very easy. Once the implement is on, you set the implement down, you back up, and it clicks in. Very nice feature. These are Category 2 balls. If you do happen to have a smaller implement, they do make bushings to bush this down to a Category 1. Also on our draft arms, we have our sway links, which are easy to operate. It's basically a turnbuckle configuration. No tools, we just loosen our jam nut, and we're going to turn our turnbuckle to get our sway correct on our implement. On all the John Deere tractors, we have lateral float and fixed position. Over here we have it in lateral, which is going to allow our 3-point hitch to ride up and down. Okay, that's going to give us a little bit of give if we're on a hard pavement or a hard driveway that we're York raking. It allows it to basically float. On this side we're fixed, meaning we can't move it up and down. On this side we're lateral float, and that's easily achieved. We pull our pin, line up. Now we're both fixed. Nice feature, especially York raking. If you want to get that little crown in the road, you're going to let the rake give it a little bit of lateral float. We're going to move on to our rear hitch, which is telescopic. And it is telescopic, meaning it can come in and out. So by pulling up our pin, we can adjust in and out wherever we want to go. Also, our hitch can be removed and put into the side to get our different drawbar side to side. Different implements require offset, whether it's left, center, or right, and here's the way we achieve that in a nice cast, heavy-duty drawbar. Moving up the line, we have our rear PTO. Nice thing about the rear PTO, it does have a safety guard on it, so we're not going to get our hands caught in there. Also, it does flip up, so we can easily get our implements attached onto our 540 PTO. A lot of the competition use a dipstick for their transmission oil. This machine, the John Deere, has a sight glass. So we have our sight glass with a low and a full. And as you see right here, it's pretty much right in the middle. Sight glass, easy to get to. We're not pulling dipsticks where there's dirt involved. It's just a simple sight. This tractor is equipped with a dual rear SCV. SCV meaning selective control valve. This is what's going to run our rear implements, whether we're lifting and lowering a harrow, angling a York rake, or lifting and lowering a batwing mower. It has 2 sets of rear remotes, so you can run up to 2 different functions on the rear. This tractor comes standard with the 2. You can also get an option as a 3rd bank. So you have 3 sets out the back for whatever your application is. We talked about where we check our hydraulic oil. Now I'm going to show you where we add our hydraulic oil. Very easy. Again, a nice large mouth. Unscrews, and it comes right off. This is actually an air breather as well. Other features on this machine, it has windshield washer. So if we're out in the field, dusty conditions, we're out in the street during the storms, we have a rear windshield washer tank. This tank is a 12-volt pump, When you push it, it's just like in an automobile. You're going to push it, and you're going to have front windshield washer on your front windshield. Also, I want to emphasize, we talked about safety and all that. Tractor is equipped with turn signals and also four-way flashers and brake lights. This tractor is equipped with mid SCV valves, again, selective control valve. This is going to operate a front loader, a front plow, different attachments you're going to put on the front. And once we get up into the cab, which we can see here as well, we have our joystick inside the cab, which is going to operate our loader or front implement. These couplers are 1/2-inch Pioneer fittings, very easy to couple. They do have thumb releases on them now, which makes it very easy. If the lines have pressure, they're going to be able to uncouple and couple back in, again, for that loader. A lot of farmers, they want to take the loader off when they're doing field work, put the loader back on when they need to be material handling. So that's where our loader is going to get plugged in. Here is our dual hydraulic pump. This pump, two different pumps. One is 16 gallons a minute for our implements, which is going to run our loader, our rear remotes, our 3-point hitch. On our front side, we have a 6.5 gallon a minute pump, which is going to run our power steering. A lot of competition use one pump, and as you're doing one function, such as loader operation or rear lifting, you take away from your power steering. Again, John Deere safety. This pump is going to run just our power steering, so we always have good constant pressure to our steering and basically gets priority. Behind that, we have our oil filter. Again, we talked about ease of maintenance. Doesn't get much easier than this, folks. We have a spin-on oil filter, very easy to get to, accessible. Our hood is an easy pull latch, spring assist, shock. And again, maintenance. We talked how easy that oil filter is. Look at our battery here. Easy to get to. If we have to jump start another machine, or if this battery happens to go dead, leaving a key on, boom, we're right here. Ease of use. I want to talk about our coolers in the front here. Okay, we have a stack of 4 different aluminum coolers. We'll start with the back. We have our radiator, which is aluminum. As we know, aluminum is going to dissipate heat a lot easier than metal. Our next one is our intercooler. So we have our turbocharged air going through our intercooler, getting cooled in front of the engine. Behind that, we have our air conditioner, air conditioning unit, which basically is going to cool that large glass cab. And then last but not least, we talked about all our hydraulics. We have a hydraulic cooler right in front. Again, easy to get to. And I want to point out here, on our hood, we have a rubber seal all the way around. So when this hood comes down, it's going to be fully enclosed in our side screens. Okay, so let's say we're mowing sides of the roads, mowing hay. We're going to get some chafe on the side of the hood that's going to stick to that. As soon as we shut the tractor down, all our chafe is going to drop down. We're not plugging our front radiator, is what I'm trying to point out. Also in front, going through our screens, is our air cleaner. Again, ease of use, ease of maintenance. Our air cleaner is right up front. We have basically 2 clips. We pop them off, pull our air cleaner out, insert a new one. I do want to point out that this tractor has a factory cab. And one feature about a factory cab, because we have our extra lights, our heater, and our AC, we have a 90 amp alternator. It's a good, strong, solid alternator, and that's going to allow us to run those lights and all those accessories all at once. As you see, it's a full glass cab, which gives you a nice 360-degree view. Again, visibility, safety. We want to always see our corners, our sides, whether we're doing field work or driving down the roads, other cars. You always want to be aware. The transmission on this tractor is a 12x12 power reverser. I want to talk about 12x12. That means it has 12 forward gears and 12 reverse gears. So we have our 2 selectors here. Our rear one is our range. Our range meaning A, B, C. A meaning low, B meaning medium, C meaning high. So when we are in B1, that is actually 5th gear. When we're in C1, that is actually 8th gear. Makes it very easy for our shifting. A, B, and C is non-synchronized because you're not really going to be messing with that lever. But when we look at our 1, 2, 3, 4, this is fully synchronized just like an automobile. So we can upshift, downshift without grinding. On all the John Deere tractors, it is a wet hydraulic clutch. Wet meaning it is totally submerged in hydraulic oil, which helps for cooling. We always hear about customers with older tractors, I smoked the clutch out of the tractor. With this tractor, again, it is a hydraulic wet clutch, foot operated, and always submerged in oil. And as we talked, what ruins clutches is heat. We talked up front, it has a hydraulic cooler up front in front of the radiator. When we're in this tractor, we can select any gear we want, and on our left-hand column of our steering wheel is called a left-hand reverser. And this here is a forward, reverse, forward, reverse. Nice thing about here, we have a neutral if we want to select neutral. This is a power reverser, meaning you do not use the clutch from forward to reverse. Helps with loader work, helps with a lot of forward reverse operations such as York raking. Again, loader work, if we're digging in a pile, we're not always reaching for the clutch or riding the clutch. It is a just true direction reverser. It is a telescopic steering wheel, and when it's telescopic, our forward neutral reverse lever is also telescopic, which is very, very nice operator comfort. As you know, we all have different height, different weight operators. The tractor has tilt wheel. Again, makes it easy, convenient. A lot of farmers, a lot of companies are in these tractors for long hours. They want comfort and convenience. To our right of our operator is our loader control valve. We talked earlier about our mid-selective control valve, and this is going to operate the mid-selective control valve. So if we were to have a loader on this tractor, we have up, we have down, we have curl the bucket in, curl the bucket out. Also, nice feature, pop the lever all the way ahead in float. What float's going to do on a loader is it's going to let our front loader follow the contour of the ground. Rather than having it in the fixed position, then it's going to be up, it's going to be down. When we put it in float, it's just going to ride along the contour. We talked about our rear selective control valve, and these are our two levers here. We have our levers that move, which are going to raise, lower an implement, raise, lower, anything you plug into the back into our standard 1/2-inch Pioneer couplers. Another nice feature about these, we have float. Just like our loader control, both rear SCVs have a float. So if we're pulling a rear harrow, we're going to put that harrow in float. Again, it's going to let the wheels follow the contour of the ground to give you a nice even cut with a harrow. Moving right along, our 3-point hitch. This is going to raise and lower our category 2 3-point hitch, up and down. And as you see, there are a wide variety of numbers here. So if you know you have a rear implement, and when you set it at number 4, that's the desired height that you want, there you go, it's set at that height. Makes it very, very easy. Our other side is our draft control. This is going to control our 3-point hitch, especially for a rear moldboard plow. But this is going to allow our draft for heavy or lighter soils. It's going to allow the plow to do what it has to do, whether go up or down in heavy or light soils. To the left here, we have our throttle. This tractor does have 2 separate throttles. We have a foot control with our foot. We also have a hand control for our throttle. Hand control for a throttle is going to be, again, if a farmer's in a field a long time, doesn't really want to be holding his foot on the throttle all day, it's basically a set it and forget it. You set it, you're at that desired speed, you're going across your field. To the rear of our operator station, we have our PTO. This is a rear power takeoff for our 540 rear RPM shaft. This is going to engage when we pull it up. It's going to engage the PTO. It's going to shut the PTO off. Again, just like the engine clutch and transmission clutch is wet hydraulic, so is our PTO. When we engage it, we basically have a large clutch pack inside the transmission, fully submerged in oil. Again, cooling, longevity, and it's a multi-disc clutch pack. This clutch pack is also modulated. A lot of PTO attachments have to be feathered in. The old units used to have a manual lever. Now it's the flip of a switch. Again, it's modulated. It's not going to slam the implement on. It's going to gradually go on and fully engage. To the rear of that, we do have a 12-volt outlet. So if we have to charge our cell phone or we want to run a rear sprayer, we have a full 12-volt outlet. As you can see, it is a suspension seat, which is nice if you're in the field on rough conditions. It is fully adjustable. On our front side, we have a dial for different weight operators or different height operators. Again, fully adjustable. And on one side, we can slide our cloth seat forward and back, which again, operator comfort. Our next feature I want to go over is our four-wheel drive engagement. Again, very ease of use. We pull up on the lever, we're in four-wheel. We push down on the lever, we're in two-wheel drive. Also, just want to go over to the left side of the operator station. We have a beverage holder, and we have a little tool compartment to keep our goodies.
You can use your head or you can use your heart, but be sure that you try.